loads of lorries coming down from Scotland, coming from flipping Nora! Yeah. We've got that on camera.
This cyclist could have very easily added himself to the thousands killed or injured in the United States last year. He was cut off by a car and nearly knocked over, so he managed to catch up at the light to give the driver an earful.
Hey.
When confronted with an aggressive driver, there are several steps you can take to ensure your own safety. First, get out of their way. Don't challenge them by speeding up or attempting to hold your own in your passing lane. Wear your seatbelt, avoid eye contact, and finally, report aggressive drivers to the police. Car doors opening abruptly are a cyclist's worst nightmare, and the most common accident involving bicycles. This man was lucky he wasn't knocked off his bike. Riding a bike without a helmet increases the risk of sustaining a head injury in the event of a wreck. Non-helmeted riders are 14 times more likely to be involved in a fatal crash. And this intoxicated biker has all the more reason to wear one. Surprisingly, drunken cyclists cause many offenses. Figures released by the U.S. Department of Transportation show that in 1998, 2,284 motorcyclists were killed, and an additional 49,000 were injured in traffic crashes in the United States. One of the biggest concerns bikers have on the road are the other cars they share it with. This biker salutes a passing motorist with a signal not found in the highway code. Nobody likes driving in the rain, but all the tanker did was hold the driver up a bit. Doing wheelies may look like fun, but it poses a real threat both to the driver and to other pedestrians. Bikes are great for shortcuts, but not on the sidewalk. His impatience cost him $60.
Oh, well done, mate. There he is. He's caught out there.
This biker wasn't speeding, he wasn't drunk, and he was an experienced biker. But he was going too fast for the road conditions on this particular night. Luckily, he wasn't hurt either. This biker was speeding and was drunk on a stolen bike and was about to stop when the highway patrol car ran into him. Literally.
485 JGA.
This speeding biker seemed suspicious to the patrol car, and the registration check listed the bike as stolen.
311, Burley just...
If you hear a siren, check your mirror and look around to see where it's coming from. Whatever you do, don't stop like this motorist, blocking the junction. Emergency vehicles don't want you to necessarily stop, but just to make space for them to pass as safely and quickly as possible.
He's gone straight over. We're now in Healing Park Road. Healing Park. On a left into Lower Fern Street. Now approaching the fire station. On Charles Nixon Road.
As soon as the biker spotted the police motorcyclist, he gave up. His passenger claimed he had no idea the bike was stolen. The biker was given a community service sentence. He was banned from riding for 2 years and ordered to take a retest. This pizza delivery biker wasn't wearing a helmet. So when the police pursued him for a chat, he took off down a narrow road in the suburbs of London. Helmets are estimated to be 29% effective in preventing fatal injuries to motorcyclists and 67% effective in preventing brain injuries. In this country, most states require helmets on the road. The driver eventually dumped the bike and ran for it. Anyone for some cold pizza? This biker refused to stop when caught for speeding. He heads into the center of town. Suspects often head for an area they know well or near where they live in the hope that they can escape on foot. The drunk driver clipped the curve and wiped out without doing himself too much damage. But, as we'll see, not everyone is that lucky. Truck drivers cause fewer accidents than the average motorist does. But there are an ever-increasing amount of trucks vying with cars for space on the road. Even experienced truck drivers make mistakes. Lots of mistakes. $475,000 trucks were involved in crashes in the U.S. in 1999. Close to 5,000 of these crashes were fatal. Two men stole this beer truck and its load, but were quickly located and pursued. Over a dozen police cars were called into the chase, which reached speeds of over 55 miles an hour, and came to an end when the truck tried to do a U-turn on the freeway and stalled. This truck was either going too fast or was badly loaded. It's surprisingly easy to turn a truck over. You can roll a rig at speeds as low as 5 miles per hour. This driver was suspected of dozing off. He hit the barrier and flipped over. The wreck caused havoc on the freeway and took hours to clear. This driver didn't notice the width restriction sign. When he tried to make a U-turn, he wedged the truck between two trees. The police had to cut one of the trees down to get him out. And if you hadn't guessed, one of the clowns was driving. Ignoring traffic signs can lead to all sorts of problems, like getting stuck under bridges, truck accidents have become an important safety issue in recent years. Between 1980 and 1989, truck travel mileage in the United States increased by approximately 50%. And the number of crashes between cars and trucks has reached upwards of 250,000 a year. It's important to realize that trucks have much bigger blind spots than cars. They need a much wider girth to turn. And with all that weight, they can't stop as quickly. This trucker is so close to the car in front, you can hardly see it. This trucker took off after a minor traffic violation. The pursuit lasted over 2 hours through Hollywood, Beverly Hills, and ending up in San Pedro. And most of the time with a screeching bare wheel rim because the tire had been shot out. At least 8 news and 2 police helicopters, as well as numerous patrol cars, closely followed the pursuit. Eventually, police pinned him to a wall and arrested him. Of the fatalities involving large trucks in the U.S., 78% were occupants of another vehicle. Truckers have a responsibility to comply with safety standards. This Danish hay truck should not have been traveling with a broken rear suspension. And it shouldn't have cut the corner like this either. This overladen trailer braked slightly on the corner when a motorcycle pulled out in front of him. Truckers should treat any load they transport like a load of dynamite, and they should drive accordingly.
Tungt det där, vet du.
Any cargo that is not secure can dislodge with the intensity of a missile. Case in point, this spill did cause some casualties, and it was a miracle that no one was killed. But many motorists were caught up in the aftermath of the blocked highway and the blaze from another truck hit by a pipe that fell from the truck on the bridge.
Some landed harmlessly in the grass, and unfortunately some landed right on the roadway into the path of vehicles traveling along. At this stage, all the evidence is aiming towards speed simply too fast.
Here's a different reason to stop for a pee. 9 tons of them dumped on the motorway when the driver fell asleep at the wheel and hit the median. The driver of this tractor trailer lost control coming onto the bridge. Its load shifted, flipping it over. As the truck skidded to a halt, it snapped the guardrail and came to rest half on, half off, with the shocked driver still in his cab. His entire load, 48,000 pounds of vegetable cooking oil, ended up on the freeway below. Driving trucks is probably the most dangerous occupation in the country. About 55% of all truck driver fatalities occur in rollover accidents. If you choose to drive a truck, be sure to know the size of your rig. This driver misjudged the turn and knocked over a signpost. This amazing clip is from a news crew that was shooting a piece about an earlier accident. It was a miracle no one was hurt. This cattle truck on the way to the slaughterhouse overturned on the ramp, and 20 cows escaped. Some had a lunch break, while others went sightseeing. It took police and firefighters nearly 5 hours to corral them all, using all sorts of different techniques. Traffic was backed up for miles, with both lanes held up as rubberneckers looked on. With human populations encroaching on wildlife habitats, it's increasingly likely that motorists will see animals on or near the road, even on a trip to the supermarket in a newly developed suburban area. This border collie held up traffic as he pranced down the center of England's M25. Eventually, the dog tired and couldn't run any further. But not until he held up traffic for at least an hour and a half. Like a large truck, a speeding bus can be very intimidating. This driver seemed to forget he wasn't driving a car. In the U.S., there's an average of 10 accidents a week involving buses, trucks, and vans under low bridges. England's rail track decided to crash this bus to raise awareness of the problem and to get drivers to make sure they know the height and width of their vehicles before setting out. Off the pedal, and then using his hands, he hit the brake, bringing the bus to a stop. The bus had been heading for the water, but miraculously, it swung back onto the bridge before stopping. Luckily, none of the children were seriously hurt. Coming up, meet some of the world's worst drivers you never want to see on the road. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reported almost 16,000 alcohol-related deaths in 1999. That's an average of 1 death every 33 minutes. There's not a country in the world that doesn't have a years once he had sobered up in jail. Police suspected that the driver of this car was drunk, and they were right. It's wise to remember that police in most states will do a breathalyzer test on drivers involved in an accident. And if you blow a .10, you are legally drunk and should not, under any circumstance, be behind the wheel.
The reason I stopped you is speed limit up.
Most U.S. states also do a roadside test because breathalyzer evidence is not always admissible in court.
We were just...
The officer pulled this car over after he saw it weaving.
Okay. All righty. I mean, I'm a license.
He quickly pulls the driver out to perform a straight line test.
That's all. I know. What we're going to do is we're going to take 9 heel-to-toe steps toward that pole, okay? So watch what I'm doing here, Charles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 9. Okay, now when you get to
Statistics say that male drivers in the 21 to 34 age group constitute the largest percentage of drunk drivers.
Start 4.
When it comes to the drug-impaired driver and some of the arrests I've had, one of the most memorable DUI arrests I've ever had was a person who was driving a Camaro, I believe it was, and speeding, crossing lanes of traffic, gave me plenty of reason to suspect that there was a problem. So after I stopped him, I did notice there was an odor of an alcoholic beverage on his breath.
Your side, you're going to watch your foot. You're going to count out loud 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, up to 1,030. So you're counting to 30, but you're doing it by 1,000. You understand what you do, Mr.
Yes.
Okay, whenever you're ready, sir, go ahead and begin.
He admitted that he had been drinking. Got him out and did some field sobriety tests with him, and for a long time I thought, well, maybe he was just one of those borderline cases. While he was doing the walk and turn test, I believe it was on his second pass down the line, Fortune smiled on me, and out of his shorts pocket dropped his one-hitter.
On my left foot?
Yeah.
In front.
And then nine steps back. Why don't we just leave that right there for a second, okay?
Watch carefully, and you'll notice a small packet fall from the suspect's back pocket. The officer noticed it right away.
And I knew immediately what it was. He knew immediately what it was. So he left it there, finished the rest of the tests, then went over and proceeded to look inside. He admitted what it was, admitted that he had smoked some marijuana earlier in the evening.
Can you tell me what this is? What this is?
The dugout.
Okay, is there anything in it?
Probably a little bit.
Probably a little bit.
Drugs other than alcohol have been identified as a factor in 18% of car deaths.
Watch the fight, and that was it.
Okay. All right, we're going to 95.
And drivers on recreational or medicinal drugs are estimated to cause 1 in 5 road deaths.
At this point, sir, you're under arrest.
Ended up making an arrest for driving under the influence of cannabis. Took him down to the station. He blew a .08 blood alcohol concentration, but after he took the urine test, we found that there were indeed cannabis in his system, and we got a conviction without even going to trial on that one.
Tell you to begin, sir, I want you to raise either leg, whichever one you feel comfortable with, about 6 inches off the ground, just like this, sir. Hang on, Mr. Paul. Hang on.
Now, I'll tell you what.
Hang on. Here, that really wasn't the way I want you to do it, so the way I'm going to ask you, it might be a little bit easier, okay? Now, we don't have any lines out here other than this crack in the road, and I don't want to have you walk on a crack, okay? So,
if I was sober and I was trying to stand like...
Okay. One more.
Okay.
One more.
You're the boss.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm not the boss. I found that out.
The boss right now.
Stand.
I can walk for a short duration.
Could you walk for 9 steps?
Sure.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I need you to come right over here. Okay. Come right over here. Turn around. Whoops. Turn around. Face the camera. What I want you to do is when I tell you to, just stand right there like that. Do your shoes cause any problems? Anything else?
Yes, the shoes are very overweight.
The shoes are very overweight? No, just stand. Just... Do you think that the amount of alcohol that you've had tonight has impaired your ability to drive to any degree?
No.
No? What time did you start drinking tonight?
The U.S. is making progress toward reducing alcohol-related fatalities. Between 1987 and 1997, there's been a 32% reduction in alcohol-related deaths. But it's not only the police who are looking out for drunk drivers. This citizen is a video vigilante who calls the police when he comes across drunks on the road. And when he has to, he makes a citizen's arrest to stop the driver from getting away.
And I need an officer.
What's 7-Eleven?
Tinker Diagonal. In front of the 7-Eleven. He's gonna turn into the 7-Eleven, and I'm gonna make a citizen's arrest if you can get me an officer up here. Okay, is Bobby working? Okay.
Hand me the camera.
Young Tom Ida, 810, Silver Camaro. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Robbie. Okay. Don't move again. Do you understand?
Not maybe.
Okay, do you understand that I placed you under arrest for suspicion of driving under the influence?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Don't move again.
Not maybe.
Okay, don't even try to get off and walk away.
Not.
Sir?
Come on, man.
Lean over the trunk and keep your face down.
Drunk driving affects everyone on and off the road. Alcohol-related car crashes cost the U.S. approximately $45 billion a year.
It's good. See you around. See you in court, that is. Get your feet in.
Will almost certainly lose your license for a period of time. You will be heavily fined and, in the worst cases, thrown in jail. It's no wonder people try so hard to get out of the charges.
Ma'am, my name is Stephen Burgess. I'm a sergeant with the Collier County Sheriff's Department. Today's date is 1/1/87. It's approximately 26 minutes past 2 in the morning. What is your name? What color are your eyes?
Green.
Do you have any physical defects?
None. Except for you.
What I'm trying to do is determine your ability to follow instructions and perform these exercises.
Officer, I'm sorry.
Do you have any physical defects?
Yes, sir.
You do?
Yes, sir.
What are they?
I have 5 tattoos.
All right, ma'am, what I need you to do is place your left foot on the line. Put your left or your right foot in front of it and yield its own manner. Now, I need you to stay into that position for just a moment, and I'm going to explain what I'm going to do.
You're making me very nervous, you know that?
Well, I'm not trying to
I feel like I'm in army me count. I don't give a whether you're not a smoker or not. I want a cigarette. I'll do it as it. You want me to walk it? Look.
Ma'am.
You want me to walk it?
Now, what I want you to do is, when I...
No, I won't do it. I want my lawyer. I want my lawyer and I want him now. I don't drink. I don't drive. I'm totally fucked up because of you.
Okay. At this time, we're going to step inside the Batmobile where the subject can be read in flag consent Miranda and asked to take a breathalyzer. Why don't we step up inside, ma'am? Watch me step on there.
Do I have the right to remain silent?
Yes, you do.
Good.
Joan.
I want my lawyer.
Joan.
I want my lawyer. You I want my lawyer. You want to hear something?
Yes, ma'am. Joan, I'm going to read you your Miranda rights. Would you listen to me, please?
I'm a good girl. I want my lawyer.
Joan, I'm going to read you your Miranda rights. Would you listen to me, please?
I'm a good girl. No, listen. I'm a housewife. What do you expect from me?
At the dawn of the new millennium, one thing is certain. The motor vehicle is here to stay. And as the number of cars on the road continues to increase, so too does our need for safe driving. But if for some reason you should get pulled over, do not, under any circumstances, react like this.
Hey, you get on me.
Well, first of all, I'm not going to stand here and argue with you, and I asked you for your driver's license proof insurance, please. Okay? And I'm not getting on you. What's happening is, this is the second time now for the same thing. And
Ma'am, have you had anything to drink tonight? Notice your eyes are a little bit bloodshot and your speech is a little bit slurred. Okay, I
had a beer.
I want you to be honest, okay?
I had a beer.
Okay. You don't think that your driving has been impaired by that beer or anything like that, okay?
Nope. She's not in the seatbelt.
She's in the seatbelt.
No, she was standing up.
She is not.
Look at the seatbelt laying right here. She was standing up just a few seconds ago.
Don't be arguing with him, because I was watching you coming through that intersection, and that girl was standing up in your back seat. So don't be telling me she wasn't.
Okay, close this door and just roll the window down. See, the problem with this...
I want to put your left foot on that line first. Okay, put your left foot. Hang on. Okay, now put your right foot in a heel-to-toe fashion, just like that. Okay, on the line there. Okay, now hold that position just for a second. You want to go ahead and take one last drag off that cigarette, because that...
Nope.
Okay, you want to put it down then?
Nope.
You going to hold on to it?
Yep.
Okay.
Arguing.
The problem is that I cited her the other day for speeding.
I know, you stopped her on the 8th.
Yeah.
Why?
Take your driver's license.
You hate me for what?
No, I don't hate you. As a matter of fact, what it is that I like your daughter.
Talk with the lady over there.
Let me see your driver's license. No, what happens is I don't hate you, is that I like you, and I'm looking out for your welfare. I'd hate to see your little one get hurt. She's gorgeous.
Watch the line. Count your steps out loud, like this. 1, 2, 3, all the way to 9, okay? Now, when you get there, I got to have you turn around and come back, okay? Hang on. Take 9 heel-to-toe steps down the line. Hang on.
What the fuck, dude? Let's go.
What?
I can't believe
I'm not picking on you.
This is the Christmas gift for me.
Wait a minute, listen. Nobody's picking on you. We didn't tell you to drive through the intersection with the girl jumping up in the back seat. You did that all yourself.
It's not.
Ma'am, don't lie to me, because we were sitting there in the intersection watching her standing up. She was leaning over this back seat.
Please.
Don't touch me. Okay.
9 steps, pivot, 9 steps. I got it. I got it.
All dudes, listen. Relax.
I got it, dude.
Well, I have a certain procedure that I go through, okay?
Joke, dude. I'm serious.
Put your right foot in front.
Word is in there. Calm down for a second.
No,
Don't swipe at me again, otherwise you're gonna regret it. Okay? Calm down for a second.
Why did you hate me so much like this?
Since that you're a second with an irate feeling.
My license.
I have 500 with me. Okay.
You want me to take 9 steps, pivot, 9 steps. I got it.
Okay, whenever you're ready, go ahead and begin.
So I can, like, take my smoke. Whenever I'm ready, right?
Well, yeah, you were ready to go like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
now,
but you stopped me 3 or 4 times.
Right, because I wasn't finished with the explanation, that's why.
Well, I'm not finished with myself.
Okay.
That yellow copy will serve as your driver's license until you show up on the court date, so...
I can't believe you did that to me!
Well,
Why you are so bad to me?
I'm not being bad to you, ma'am, okay? I'm looking out for the safety of your child. Okay? Have a safe day, ma'am.
Oh, I can't... 1.
No, that's your starting position. You start with your left foot, like I told you, okay?
Oh, you want me to start with my left?
No.
1.
I'll do is listen. Put your right foot in front, and then take
No,
your
you
first
just
step with your left foot, okay? Okay.
Ma'am, have a seat in your car. There's nothing to... Have a seat, ma'am.
Why are you misusing your authority like this?
Well, have a seat, ma'am.
Nothing to do with misuse of authority. It's very
You
simple.
are! Why are you
Very simple. Your child's not in the child seat. When we looked at her, that's why you're getting a ticket, period. That is end of story.
I pray every day. What do you want? My right?
Well, do listen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Missing
6,
on every step.
7,
Arms up.
8, 9, pivot.
And then 9 steps back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, flip flop. You will be safe if you misuse your authority. That something will happen to you. Something will happen to you. If you had the children 5 like you said, you would understand me.
Ma'am, I have 2 children. I keep them in child seats all the time.
Please.
All the time.
Ma'am, go ahead so you can...
Take off.
Have a safe day.
Next on TLC, dramatic footage captured live and on the scene. Eyewitness cameras bring the action direct from the lens to your TV. It's all caught on camera, and it's next here on TLC.
On TLC, when smart engineering meets powerful machines,
Good God.
the competition gets hot. And one rockin' robot rules the arena. Robotica begins Wednesday on TLC.